Hey there, everybody. I am hopping on today to talk about how everything that happens in our lives is an opportunity for a transformational moment or learning opportunity, whatever you want to call it. People call it by lots of different names, but it comes down to being able to shift. Hey, Vander, whatever your name is, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining. I'm talking about transformational opportunities. And I'm Helen Hillix. I am an intuitive counselor and spiritual coach with 35 years of experience. And I've got lots of things to share. And I'm trying to get on as often as I can to share those in little pieces. And I've really been thinking about this the last couple of days because of something that happened to me. And I'm from Holland. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. I love that. One of my favorite people, Dirk de Koekoek, is from Holland, but he lives here in California also. He goes back and forth doing chiropractic work. Anyway, back to the topic. I had some experiences just this last weekend that really triggered all of this for me. Hey Ryan, welcome. I am talking about transformational opportunities and that each moment of our lives can be a transformational moment if we allow it to be, no matter what it is. And one of the most poignant experiences that I ever had with a client was a client that I had many years ago, maybe 25 or more years ago, was a young woman who was in her early 30s who had breast cancer that had metastasized. And she knew she was dying. She only had a few months to live. And she had young children and a husband. And it was such a blessing to me to be able to work with this woman and to be able to support her to realize that she had never really embraced her life. She had never really felt that passion about living. She didn't feel that passion about her husband. She just didn't feel that passion. And when she got terminal cancer, she started feeling like her life was precious and passionate. She felt passionately about it. And she said, I can see how having terminal cancer is an incredible blessing to me, because even though I'm not going to live for a long time, while I'm here, I am going to be able to experience passionate living, and I never would have without it. And I just thought that was an amazing experience for the two of us to share. And I talked about that at her funeral because they asked me to come and speak, and that's what I shared about her, was that I admired her so much because she came to this understanding, and I wanted her family to know that she came to this understanding. So talk about a transformational opportunity. I mean, and that's why I wanted to talk to people today about it, because I don't care whether it's that you have terminal cancer or somebody pulled in front of you in traffic. You know, I mean, they're ridiculously different kinds of experiences, but they are the same kind of opportunity for us to really be able to shift our energy and learn from that experience. So I'm going to share with you the thing that happened to me this last weekend was that I had a wonderful experience doing a one-to-one intensive with a client where I stayed and worked with her for 20 hours over the weekend, and we had some really powerful moments and breakthroughs. And I collaborated with a couple of my friends, bringing them in to do their specialties, and it was just an amazing guided experience. I felt like the universe was totally guiding us. I felt really confident about myself. And I felt like, wow, I am really doing what the universe wants me to do, what God's guiding me to do. I felt really good about that and about myself. And then the very next day, and I'm saying really, literally the very next day, I had a very painful experience where somebody was lashing out and attacking me, and I felt very full of self-doubt, and, you know, it just was so bizarre. And I kept thinking, what is the universe trying to say to me? You know, what's the universe trying to tell me? Maybe I'm on the wrong track. Maybe I got into my ego about how great I thought the weekend was. I just kept looking for all these reasons. And one of the things that I value about myself is that I am dedicated to being happy. And I tend to be anxious also. That's my nature also, is I tend to be anxious. And when something happens, something painful happens, I tend to go to anxiety. and self-doubt. But my dedication to happiness is still there, even more so than my tendency to be anxious. So it's like, damn it, I'm going to find a way to turn this around. I'm going to find a way to be happy. And so I just kept thinking and pondering and meditating, and I would have dreams about the dark side, and that I was colluding with the dark side. It was just bizarre. But over the course of 12 hours or so, I really, right in the middle of a meditation, I understood what was happening, and a smile just came across my face right in the middle of my meditation, and I was so happy that the energy was broken. The spell was broken. The dark side did not have me by the throat anymore. There was no more anxiety. It was just broken. And I got support, which is something also that a lot of us tend to not do when we're struggling, is get support. And you never know who it's going to come from. That particular morning, it came from my daughter. She was able to really support me very succinctly, and it helped tremendously. And, maybe it comes from some places you don't even think it's going to come from. And also, it's very good to have it come from a counselor or a mentor or spiritual coach or whatever. But it can come from the most unusual places, and don't negate those opportunities. So it just showed me that, life is like this. It is just constantly like this. And of course, when it's good, when we're flying high, we don't want to think about the next time it's going to go, we just don't want to think about it. And it always surprises us, which is so crazy. I'm 69 years old, and it still surprises me when it takes a dive the next morning. So I just have to get back into what do I believe? What do I believe? I believe that everything is an opportunity for transformation, for growth, for spiritual expansion. So I just kept on it and kept on it and kept on it until I got to the other side. And I want to hop on today and talk to you about it, because I want to share that with you and encourage you to remember that everything can be a transformational moment. When things go bad, there's something we can learn from it. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. I love them. Yeah, everything. If we are dedicated to learning from it, we can learn from it. Everything's going to have a silver lining. And I've said this, I did a Facebook video about this, and I said this same example. If I learned my daughter was dead, of course, I'm not going to be able to be in my spiritual power and say, oh, I'm not upset. It's like I'm very attached to her. I would be devastated. But I've had to think about that many times, because she's a recovering addict. And there were times when I had to face the reality that she could die. And I faced it, and even though it would make me cry, and it almost makes me cry right now, I knew that I had the spiritual strength to make it through that situation, a situation that my sister actually has had to go through. And I knew that I would go to the other side of it. I knew that I would be able to get the support to be able to be happy again, even in that worst thing that I could ever imagine happening. Even if it happened, I knew that I could make it a transformational moment, and I could be strengthened ultimately from it. And, when we can do that, it's like we don't have to be afraid of anything anymore. Because when we know and we have the confidence in ourselves and the faith that we're going to get to the other side, and we're going to learn from it, and we're going to grow from it, and we're going to be more powerful from whatever we're going through, then we don't have to fear life. Ryan says that I was told that we are not crazy, that we're not all crazy at the same time. For me, meaning that I need to be able to receive support and also give it. It's okay to ask for support. Absolutely, Ryan. I'm so with you. And I love to think of we're not crazy all at the same time. Well, I beg to differ there. I mean, I wish that were true, but I have some clients that are all crazy at the same time. Couples that get crazy at the same time. And And I've had that happen, you know, I've had that happen with my own husband where we're both crazy at the same time. That's too bad. But I guess what you're not really meaning that. You're meaning that the entirety of your whole community is not crazy at the same time. And that's true. The entirety of our whole community is not crazy at the same time. So there is one sane person out there that I can call. So, and do so, absolutely do so. So anyway, I was saying that when we develop that confidence in ourselves, that we're willing to ask for support, as Ryan, you know, supported us to say, you know, absolutely. When we have that belief and that commitment to ask for support when we need it, if plugged in, we have resources. Love that. Absolutely. We have resources. So if we have those resources and we use them, we have the spiritual principles and we have practiced them over and over again. And if we have the commitment in our hearts that we're going to use this, I don't give a shit how hard it is. I don't care how hard it is. I am dedicated that I'm going to use this as a transformational moment instead of an excuse to go get high or go gambling or have an affair or whatever. Then you can just relax. Because you know whatever happens, you're going to be able to make the most of it. And that gives you an incredible sense of power and freedom. And there you have it. It's all about, you know, being happy and feeling powerful and free. And people, you know, think that, oh God, that's a burden, having to transform everything into something that I can learn from. What a burden, what a pain in the ass. But it's not. It's hard work sometimes. It's really hard work sometimes. But on the other side, you get to be happy again. I mean, Jesus, how much better can that be? You get to be happy again. So that's my commitment, is I'm always going to go for the transformational moment. I'm always going to fight for that opportunity to be free on the other side of whatever I'm struggling through. And another commitment I have is I'm going to share what I know with you. I'm going to pay it forward, because whatever I know has been taught to me. And I want to share it with you because it was shared with me. And I love you all. I'm starting a podcast in the next couple of weeks. I've got all the stuff organized. I'm just kind of in the last organization part. It's going to be called From My Heart to Yours. And I hope you'll listen to that. And please follow me on Instagram at Helen Hillix, Hillix, if you're not already. And follow me on Facebook. My Facebook page is also Helen Hillix. And I just love doing this. I love sharing with you. I love that you got on to support me. It makes my day. And I hope that this information is helpful. And if it is, please share it out to others. So I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.